The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your visions.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to another show. It's an open show right here on Channel 67. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee. It's the show that brings the Bronx and the world to you. And we got a lot in store for you. Great show in store for you. As a matter of fact, coming up on today's show, bring it out. Yeah, we'll give you tips on how to keep healthy while dining out. Plus, we'll take a trip out into the open, and we're going to check out some of the culinary arts of Ambrosia, Baron Ambrosia, Ambrosia's favorite spots. And after that, we'll take a good look at a unique project bringing health and wellness to the Bronx. And finally, fitness expert Gino Sylvan. He's here with us today to keep you in shape. So stay tuned. All this and more is headed your way because we are now open. Welcome, everybody. Once again, I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS, your number one source for R&B. You can catch me on each and every night right after the Quiet Storm with Lenny Green and out with the Steve Harvey Morning Show, too. We have a great show lined up for you today. Today is Monday, February 3rd. Happy birthday to all of you who are celebrating. Of course, my brother Cliff Lee is out there in South Carolina watching us by way of the internet. And you're watching Open, the one and only live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. Got a great show, but first, let's check in with our resident DJ Vince Bracey.
Dr. Bob Lee.
How are you?
How you doing today?
So I heard you enjoyed the game yesterday.
Yes.
You was eating wings and things,
yes.
And you had everything that you needed all around
wings
you.
And things, had some drinks and things. Everything was wonderful. The Seahawks took it. It was a wonderful game. I believe the score was what, 40 something to
43 to 8.
43 to 8.
That was a total domination, total blowout right there.
Yeah, pretty much a blowout. It was almost 40 something to 0 for a while there.
It's like you're in the pool and you're holding somebody's head underwater. You don't let them get up for any air. You just keep them right there. I mean, the defense was unbelievable. It was a number one defense against a number one offense.
Yes. So, anybody could have took it, but the Seahawks really just every chance they got, they were knocking people down.
Wow.
I think the difference, no team has ever scored 40 or above while a team had less than 10 points in the Super Bowl ever.
Wow.
So that was.
There's a lot of firsts in there, And I tell you, it was a crazy game. I just wanted to, all right, enough of this. We knew who was going to win. You can walk away after that. How about Bruno Mars?
Bruno Mars, yeah,
and the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I liked his performance.
Halftime.
I used to listen to the Red Hot Chili Peppers a little bit. I like their portion of it.
I didn't know he was a Red Hot Chili Pepper kind of guy.
Yeah, I'm a DJ. I got to listen to everything. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, I thought his performance was pretty good. He's a very talented.
He's a great entertainer.
Yes, he's really good at entertaining.
Yeah,
I need to get one of those gold suits that he had also.
All right, cool. All right, so what else happened? What else was in the highlight? Who's celebrating birthdays today?
Birthdays today, for anybody, happy birthday if you're celebrating and if you're watching.
Who's the young lady right there celebrating?
Who's that? Halsey's birthday supposedly is today. I'm not sure. But also Nathan Lane, the famous Broadway actor, his birthday is today. He turns 58. Sean Kingston, the singer, is 24 years old today, and Daddy Yankee also Daddy Yankee is 37 years old today. Believe it or not. So that's whose birthdays you guys share.
All right, you got some good music for us?
Of course, all the time.
All right, laying in the cut. Vince Bracey, give him a big round of applause. Yes, indeed. All right. We're going to take a quick break right here, but when we return, we will take a good look at some smart choices you can make when dining out. But first, let's take a good look at an inside look at the Woodlawn House of Music and Art. Let's check this out.
After 4 months of private piano lessons, 6-year-old Evan Hockhauser can play Happy Birthday, and over the Christmas holiday delighted his family with this tune. This is all thanks to music instructor Michelle Bergen here at the Woodlawn House of Music, Dance, and Art, where she, along with over a dozen others, work to provide a place for children like Evan, and adults too, space to learn how to play a musical instrument. Evan's grandmother is also taking lessons.
Now when I hear music, I listen for things, and it just feels great.
This is the vision of Irish-born Woodlawn resident Martin O'Grady, who's lived here in the United States since 1959. Now retired from his plumbing business, this father and grandfather has since devoted his time and resources to art education. In 2004, he opened up this building to anyone who wants to learn.
I think it helps to develop the brain. I believe that most of the children here are big achievers, they're big academic achievers. And I believe that it does develop the brain.
1, 2.
These students are preparing for an Irish World Music competition that takes place each year in Ireland called the Flaw. Last year they won 4th place. For instructor Erin Logren, who has taught here at the house for 4 years, this serves as an opportunity for her to preserve a unique art form.
They start off learning the very, very basics, how to hold the instrument, and it depends on the age of the child how fast they pick it up, but a lot of them pick it up very, very quickly because this music is taught mainly by ear, so they listen and they learn. The goal is not to need any notes in front of you, everything is up here. So they listen to it and they learn, which is unique in its own way.
On any given day, sounds of music can be heard from practically every room in the house. Music teacher Jerry O'Sullivan, who's played with the Boston Pops, and Dan Hinley of the Eagles, is training Ethan Moss on how to play the tin whistle.
With music, if you can whistle the piece, sing it to yourself, sing it in the shower, that's 90% of the battle. All this is mechanical. If it's up here in the head, if you can sing it, whistle it, it's there. So basically I start with something simple that they know. A lot of the musicians that were my heroes, there's not too many of them left. I'm not going to be here forever either. It would be nice, you know, it's wonderful to have young men, women like Ethan, to see these young men and women playing.
You have to blow hard enough to blow out the candles on Mr. O'Grady's birthday, not just your own birthday cake. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, go. Good. See what's happening? If I push the air out, it comes out. Now I want you to do it without me. You don't need me. Go again. That is Mr. O'Grady's birthday cake.
In another room, teacher Ann Acosta wants her students to reach a new level of performance as a group, and 6-year-old Minnie McKenna is well on her way. And parents appreciate the work. Minnie's mom, Kathy McKenna, says her family back in Ireland enjoy hearing about her progress.
You know, it just brings us all closer, I think. And my mother is still alive at home, and she gets a great thrill out of hearing that they're doing Irish dance and they're doing music, you know, the reels, the jigs and everything, so it's important, yeah, it's very important.
I have no idea why I decided to get into it, but now I can't really envision not doing it, so it's just kind of a way of life.
Now in its 10th year, word is spreading fast about the Woodlawn House of Music. As municipal budgets decline in the area of art education, O'Grady says this further makes places like this one vital to the development of children of all ages. If you're interested in taking violin, tin whistle, or accordion lessons, you can call Anne Marie Acosta here at this House of Music, Dance, and Art. She's at 718-945-9364. For BronxNet, this is Arlene.
Thank you, Arlene Makoko. Always doing a great job. Our first guest is a registered dietitian and our open nutrition consultant. She joins us today to share more about how you can keep healthy when eating out. When you go for it, you just go for the gusto, right? We welcome Fiorella the caller. Give her a big round of applause, everybody. And keep it going because today's her birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, everybody. Happy birthday, dear.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate that.
And many more.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you didn't want to tell us, huh?
No.
Well, you shared with some very notable people.
I did.
Vince mentioned those people, who are celebrating along with you. My brother Cliff Lee, my father celebrated
really? That's so
February
great.
1st.
Wow, it's our Aquarius.
So how does it feel to be a year younger?
Great. It's fantastic. I love it.
You're not blushing, are you?
No, not at all. Not at all. This was quite a surprise. Thank you.
So wait a minute. I think they're going to take you to dinner next.
Oh, is that right? Well, we're going to start with some tips, and so we can do it properly.
Yeah. So how do you stay healthy when going out to dinner?
Well, so this is the thing. I feel, one should think about it in this way first, right? I'm a foodie first, a dietitian second. So if I'm going to go to a restaurant, right, I'm going to look at what they do best, and that's basically what I'm going to have. I don't want to go in there and have a diet mentality to think that I have to pick the most low-cal option in the menu if it doesn't happen to be their specialty. Why would I do that, right? So I want to eat what they are providing that they do best, basically.
Of course, you know a little bit about the place before you get there.
Of course. And there are different things too as well. For example, it's a different approach. If you're the type of person who occasionally goes out to dinner, then the way that you're eating at the restaurant is going to be very different than a person who frequents it 2 or 3 times a day, who eats out 2 or 3 times a day. So they're going to approach the meals and the menus very, very differently. So now for a person, for the rest of the world like us who go out occasionally to eat dinner, you want to have a balanced approach to it. Like I said, you want to go take a look at the menu and think about what they're known for and maybe choose accordingly so that you actually enjoy your food. Now, there are things to do in and around the day that can also help you kind of balance out that particular meal as well. So, for example, one of the first things that you can do is when you're going to eat is watch your appetizers, right? How often do we get involved in, enjoying the appetizers because we're going in there hungry, and we really overdo the appetizers,
then do not go to the Golden Corral. It's a wonderful place, but if you're on a diet, it's an all-you-can-eat spot.
It is an all-you-can-eat spot. Yes. And so, they're different places. A lot of people talk about, portion distortion at different restaurants. But the truth of the matter is, it depends on what restaurant you go to. Many times I find myself going to a restaurant that perhaps is not, a restaurant as you just described, and the portions are actually too small.
Yes.
Have you ever had that? Portions are just too small.
I've experienced that. I was very upset too. I mean, it's a beautiful place, very expensive place.
Right.
It was a French spot, and we went in. We were very hungry.
Yes.
But they give you a small little portion.
Very small, particularly when it comes to meat or fish. I'm looking at my meal and I'm like, wow, this really needs to be a bigger piece of fish right now.
Exactly.
So it really depends on where you go. But the appetizers there is where you want to start going in. And one of the things that you do is that they're very smart, the restaurateurs, right? So the appetizers are coming with the alcohol first, right? So you're getting a little feeling a little bit more relaxed with your alcohol, and so therefore you're becoming a little bit more uninhibited with your food, and so you're filling up on your appetizers because you're going in hungry. So at that stage, that is where it would begin.
Right.
The moderation would begin around the appetizers, and be very careful about that. And plus, just from a sensory perspective, food always tastes a little bit better when you're slightly hungry, right? So you don't want to absolutely fill up on the appetizers. You want to give yourself some room to enjoy your entree as well.
So how do you prepare before you get there? You got to know the restaurant that you're going to. Of course, know what they're serving. Know what type of food you're going for, whether it be steak or fish dinner.
Right. Right. And, and that's really good that you can look ahead and check out the reviews and see what that place is known for so that you can order the top-notch thing on that plate. For example, if a place is known for their steak, I mean, really, why are you ordering a salad there? It just doesn't make any sense, But it is good to know. Right. It is good to know in advance as well. But the second thing is exactly what do you say? What do you do around your day? What you can do around your day is eat balanced in the sense that you don't want to eat too much the day before the day of the meal in the evening, and you don't want to eat too little either, because then you are also going in way too hungry, and then you're going ahead and you're not being able to deal with the appetizers or the entrees accordingly. You know, so that's one of the things that you want to do. You want to moderate your day in such a way where you're not pulling back either. You know, you don't want to eat too little in preparation to go.
What about the term, your eyes are bigger than your head, or your eyes are bigger than your stomach?
And that's the same thing goes for going in too hungry. That's where that comes from. And when you are picking your entree, whatever it may be.
So when that happens, you order way more than you're supposed to.
Sure, that could definitely happen, and particularly when it comes into the appetizers, right? Even shared appetizers. So what you want to do is you want to look at your entree, pick the thing that you want the most, right? And coordinate accordingly. See if you can order a side or two of vegetables to go along with it, so you can have a balanced meal. So you can enjoy your steak or your fish or your chicken or whatever you're having, but also add 2 more sides of vegetables.
Right. What about sharing?
It's amazing. You can definitely share as well. That'd be good, particularly in the appetizers, right? You share your appetizers, you share dessert, and you're more able to have a more balanced meal. And then, of course, what you also want to do is, like I said, you really do want to watch your alcohol in this scenario for many reasons. Not only because it does uninhibit you a little bit more, and you just continue to eat, but just sometimes, the ability to not be able to, moderate what you're having in terms of the alcohol content, because most of the times you notice they do give it to you beforehand, right before the meal starts, at the point where you are the most hungry, and so it's easier for you to, kind of take that in, and it reaches your blood system right away. So you want to be careful with that. And we know also the effects of alcohol the next day as well, in terms of your gastrointestinal issues that can come about that. So, and some people blame it on the food that they had, but really it was the alcohol.
Blame it on the alcohol, baby. What about all the bread that they bring you? Bread and butter.
Right,
your meal.
Like I said, it's everything in moderation. There's nothing wrong with bread. The thing is that what happens is that people end up they're having a conversation, they're enjoying themselves, they're mindlessly eating. And then they get to the entree and they're not even hungry anymore.
They're not hungry anymore. They're filled up with the bread.
Right. And then, of course, if you ever do get to that situation, remember this. There's always the idea of the doggy bag, right? You can always bring the doggy bag home. You can always have some. You don't have to finish everything there, and bring some home for the next day.
Yeah.
If you look at restaurant portions, what is the biggest component that's going to be on that plate from the perspective of the restaurateur? It's going to be probably the most expensive thing for them to put on that plate for you, and that's what's going to be piled up the most.
Yeah.
And that generally is in the sense of, rice and pasta and, fries, and those are the things, hash browns. That's when you see the big pile up there, right? And that's
those are the fillers.
Those are the fillers. It's just more expensive for them, and it just gives you the feeling that you are eating more, which you are. So, I would go about perhaps moderating that in a little bit so that you have a more balanced eating plan where you can order a vegetable as well with that entree.
Yeah. So how many portions are usually on a plate?
Well, like I said, it varies, doesn't it? Only because if you're going to some of these places that are a little bit more fast food, they tend to supersize their portions because of the cost of the food. But then you will go to somewhere where it's a 3 or 4 star restaurant, something a little bit upscale, and you're like, wait a second here, I just ate this, but now I feel like I want a slice of pizza after because this didn't do anything for me because it's so small. So it's a matter of that, and I think that in order to do that, to keep your appetite fresh for that entree, because it will taste better if you are a little hungry when you're having it, right? We would definitely want to get all of our sensory, symphony of the senses going on with our foods. You want to maybe moderate your portions of appetizers so they're more fish, meat, poultry related rather than the bread basket, for example. Because that'll fill you up.
I wish I had you in here before the Super Bowl because, Super Bowl, you just order everything, sliced elephant trunk. I'm only kidding about that, but, it's just about, look at just about anything goes when you're watching a big game like that.
Right, of course, it's true.
How do you moderate that? I mean, cheese doodles and dips and this and that.
Yeah, in a situation like that, I look at those situations as celebrations, right? It's not like you do that every single day. So instead of stressing yourself out about having to moderate in that situation, take it for what it is. It's that day. Tomorrow is not that day.
So go ahead. At the end of the day, take an X-Lax and walk.
But right? I mean, if you're really, really worried about it, if you're really, really concerned, you just want to take your plate and you want to fill up the options in a balanced way so that you can look at your food, right? You can see it versus continually picking all over, because that's what makes you a little bit more anxious about it, right? Yeah. But honestly, I think in situations like that, birthday parties and eating out when it's in a celebratory manner, I don't think that eating healthy is necessarily what should be expected.
Just go
there.
For it, because everything in moderation.
Well,
Super Bowl doesn't take place every day.
Right, exactly. If you're eating healthy 80% of the time, if your meals are balanced 80% of the times, these type of restaurant meals or Super Bowl meals are not going to hinder your health.
Yeah. So you spoke a lot about drinking. What should you drink if you don't want a glass of wine or something like that?
Alcoholic drink, or you're saying?
Right, along with your meal. What's a good thing to drink?
I mean, it depends on what you're going for. If you're trying to find a drink that is complementary to the food and enhancing the taste experience of the food, generally they will advise like some sort of wines that will complement the food in terms of that. So you're drinking the wine to complement the food, so it's a tasting rather than drinking a wine, so that you could.
I was talking to Vince about that earlier. He said, good old-fashioned beer does him right. Is that right, Vince?
and the craft beers now, they're actually very akin to being very complementary to different foods. The only thing with beer you do have to watch out for is it does make you feel more filled up, just because it's carbonated, right? So it fills you up a little bit more. So just take that into account.
All right, there you go. Give her a big round of applause, everybody. And happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Fiorella DiCarlo, registered dietitian.
Thank
always
you.
with a wealth of information. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, we got to take a quick break right here. But before we go, give us some information where we can get in touch with you for more.
Sure. It's FiorellaDiCarloRD.com.
Say it again.
FiorellaDiCarloRD.com.
There you go. All right. We'll be right back after this.
So you heard of the Chewbacca fish?
Yeah.
Chewbacca who? Well, you heard of the Chewbacca fish, haven't you?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And just so the people at home know, describe it real quick for us.
Describe what?
A fish that flies out of the water, almost like a rocket. It goes like 12 feet in the air. And then what happens is it comes back down before it hits the water. It flies into people's neck and starts biting you in the neck and in the face.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If it's out there, I'm going to catch it on camera because I've been out here with my camera for years.
You know how the Chewbacca fish works? What happens is it shoots like rockets out of the water 5 feet in the air, and then as it jumps, and then what happens 5 feet in the air, comes down right before it hits the water, it does a one of these moves and flies into your neck and starts biting you and stuff.
Nah, they don't have the fish like that out here, do they?
Yeah, it's the Chewbacca fish. That's what
they have it out here in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then what happens is right before it comes and hits the water.
Yeah, he tried to hit somebody.
Exactly.
Llegaron los caballos. ¡Huépame! Mira, yo te vi con ese teléfono.
Hi, this is Jeff Fox for 107.5 WBLS. And when I get off the radio, I check out my man, the Dr. Bob Lee. It's open on BronxNet. I never miss it.
And welcome back. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, culinary ambassador to the Bronx. He takes us on a journey to find out what his favorite meal is. Let's take a look.
The most common food question I receive is, Baron, what is your favorite meal? Now, this is a near impossible question to answer. But if I had to pick, and pick just one, I would choose a dish that is more than just delicious in flavor. A dish that is ingrained in my DNA and fills my heart with both nostalgia, warmth, and joy. That dish is crab sauce over linguine, served in my cousin's house in East Haven, Connecticut, every Christmas Eve.
My earliest memories of this sauce was not liking it. As such little, under 5 years old, my grandmother would have to make butter on macaroni because the flavor's pretty strong. So it wasn't until I was older, and it wasn't until I started making it with her and my grandfather that I really wanted to try it because I cooked it with them.
The gravy begins with the washing and subsequent browning of 12 blue crabs.
So I only put a few in at a time so that they all cook really nice.
The crustaceans are sent sizzling into a pot that has been painted with olive oil and chopped garlic. Parsley precipitation falls gently into the fray. Once they are properly browned, set them aside and replace them with 1 1/3 pounds of slipper tail, which go and saute with more garlic and more parsley.
No oregano. No oregano. No oregano. Not in fish sauce. Only parsley. Parsley and a little pepper.
In a few minutes, add 2 cans of tomato paste and let them sizzle away.
We use tomato paste and we use clam juice in our sauce, which most people will tell you not to use the tomato paste because they think it overpowers the sauce, but I think it actually enhances the sauce. And this was my grandfather's family that added the paste. It takes all the brown bits from the crab that you sauteed and all the legs and all the lobster, and it gives it a really nice, rich, full-bodied flavor, as opposed to a wet, soupy one.
After which, pour 2 cans of Totoroso crushed tomatoes over top and follow that with 4 bottles of clam juice.
We also use clam juice, which most people don't use, and the clam juice actually brings out, crabs don't have a strong flavor on their own, so the clam juice really brings out the flavor of the crab.
All the ingredients are stirred together before receiving a blessing in the form of 1 1/2 pounds of medium raw shrimp. Once the contents of the pot get to know each other well, the waiting game begins. The gravy is left to simmer on low for the next 6 hours and 45 minutes, after which it is very important to remove the sauce from the heat and let it rest for about 12 hours.
And I remember my grandmother with her tiny little stove, and we would make the sauce. And it would be a few days before Christmas, definitely, so that the sauce could rest. That was, my grandfather was very strict about all of his sauce resting the day before. Again, to make the flavor stronger, more robust, to mingle, to get married, they would say, and just to make a stronger and a better tasting.
When the resting period is over, add a 1/2 cup of chopped clams and another can of crushed tomatoes. The gravy must now cook on low for another 5.5 hours before being poured over your pasta of choice. We choose linguine.
I'm sure my great-grandmother, my great-grandmothers made it. Everybody made crab sauce. And if you go around, East Haven's very Italian, so everyone I know makes crab sauce for Christmas Eve. But I think this particular recipe was a marriage of theirs, because my grandfather would use paste and my grandmother wouldn't. My grandfather had his way of adding certain things. She had her way. So I think after a while it just was what they liked. They said, oh, this tastes the best, so let's do it this way. What it means to me is family, and it's the one time a year. My family that I grew up with on Christmas Eve, so all of us are together. It's really for a sit-down meal. I mean, we get together and we have parties, and there's other family members, and there's other, friends, and which is fantastic, but this is, just us. This is really what it's, Christmas is about, is family, right? So it was very important to my grandmother, even when she had no money, to be able to make this. So for me, it's the same. You know, I do that for her.
So from my family to yours, Merry Christmas, and to all a good manja.
All right, welcome back, everybody. You know, the BLK Project addresses food justice and economic development, and we are pleased to be joined by way of Skype by Executive Director Tanya Fields to share more about this unique project. We welcome you, Tanya.
Thank you. Hello.
How are you? We didn't want you to walk out there and slip or anything. You know, it's very slippery out there. We got to be careful.
Right, my equilibrium is totally off now. I'm carrying a baby in my belly, so yeah, I've got to be a little bit more careful than maybe, you know, any other day.
Yeah,
I wasn't pregnant.
Well, God bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you have this wonderful project. What is the BLK Project with PROJEK?
So it's the Black Project, and yes, there is definitely sort of in our name homage to sort of like the graffiti sort of urban culture. So that's where it comes from. People are always like, so should I say project? And I'm like, no, let's not try that hard.
Hey, that's where I came from.
It should come easy and naturally. But the Black Project is an organization that I started about 3 years ago after doing activism work in the Bronx, South Bronx community. I really wanted to concentrate on food and really wanted to concentrate on economic development. Being a low-income working-class woman in a community that is resilient but is struggling and doesn't have a lot of economic development opportunities, I really wanted to think about how we could get better food into our communities while also being able to use that platform, that good food, local food platform, as an economic development driver. And so that's where I came up with the Black Project. And so we've been working on quite a few projects over the last couple of years, one of the biggest ones being our South Bronx Mobile Market.
Oh, the South Bronx Mobile Market. I hear a lot about that. Now, how important is it to get great foods into our communities?
Oh, you know, I've struggled with my weight and being a mom and being pregnant now. It really is of the utmost importance, and it's difficult. You know, there are some choices in the South Bronx. You can go to your Cuchi Frito spot, you can go to your Chinese restaurant, you can go to the bodega, and you can go to a supermarket. But it probably doesn't have a lot of diversity in types of food, and definitely not a lot of quality in the produce section. And so unless you have a car, or you're really, really diligent, or you're a single person with a lot of time, it can be really difficult. I think one of the things about community that makes community great is what's the walkability of great things in your community. And so for me, great community is about being able to walk to really good things. People pay $2,000 to live in a box on the corner of Chelsea. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's great community. There are great things to walk to in that community. And so we need to see more of that diversity happening in the South Bronx. And so food is a big part of our culture as black and brown folks.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be a part of that.
And nothing wrong with those coochie Fritos every now and then, huh?
You know, I was listening
every
to
now
the
and then.
dietitian, and nothing wrong with it in moderation.
Right.
I think the problem is that when you see it all the time and those are the only options, what you start to see is more and more consumption of them on a regular basis, and then the balance becomes a bit out of whack.
And that's where the problem occurs, yes.
Exactly.
Now, you're not only talking about foods in our community and all of that stuff, but you're talking about creating small business and career opportunities for the underserved. Is that right?
Yes. So, you know, I don't know if you've heard recently, particularly I think Whole Foods is at the head of it, collard greens are now the new kale.
Ah.
You know, I'm from a Southern Baptist family. I mean, I was born here in New York, but my parents are from sharecropping families down south.
Yes.
I'm like, what? Collard greens, the new kale. Collard greens been a superfood, right? And so what happens, particularly for indigenous folks and people of color, is our food gets co-opted.
Yeah.
And we don't benefit from that. You know, I knew about kale 20 years ago. My mom was cooking it along with turnip greens and mustard greens and all those great things.
Yes.
I see you laughing. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
You know, then it gets co-opted. I'll speak blatantly, you know, hit white folks hear about it, and suddenly it becomes great. The prices are inflated, and we don't get to benefit. And we're still left with these things in our communities that have negative impacts on our public health.
The
so
Black Eyed
for me,
Peas
it was like, how do we also bring economic development into our community?
Yes.
Well, let's also find a way that we can get control of parts of our food system.
Yeah.
So if we can take the vacant lots in our communities and turn them into urban farms and gardens, let's do that and grow some food. If we can take a former school bus, shrink it out, and put good food on it from local New York State farmers and have folks in our community selling it, and they can make some money in our community and, you know, bring things into their family, let's do that as well.
That's beautiful. Let's talk about that tricked out school bus, because I heard a little bit about that. I heard you talking to somebody about that. Now, what does it have? I heard you said something about it having solar panels and everything. It's self-contained?
So I live in the Hunts Point area. We live next to the largest food distribution center in the world.
Yes.
Ironically, most of that food does not come into our community. What does happen, however, is that we get 16,000 diesel truck trips every day.
So the food is
That's
here.
The negative impact.
Yeah. So the food is here, but it's not here.
Hub in our community.
Yeah.
And so for us doing this work, it was really important that the vehicle that we used to be a clean energy vehicle.
Mhm.
So we just got a grant to put solar panels from Green Mountain Energy. So we're putting solar panels on our bus this coming spring. The bus engine has been converted. So instead of just taking regular diesel fuel, it runs on used vegetable oil. So we can now take something out of the waste stream and upcycle it and use it as fuel and not have any of the negative, harmful environmental impacts coming into our community that is usually associated with food.
Yeah, and that's also called flex fuel. Is that right?
We call it biofuel, which can be a little bit confusing because you've got like biofuel where they're just growing corn just to make gasoline for your car.
Yeah.
You've got biofuel where people like Tri-State Biodiesel are collecting used vegetable oil, filtering it, and then selling it at regular gas stations. And then you've got like raw biodiesel, which is what we're using, where we collect used vegetable oil, filter it, and then put it directly into our gas tank.
Keeping it clean and green, huh?
Keeping it clean and green.
Now check it out. What is the impact that you have made in our community so far from doing all of this?
That's still to be seen. I think, not to sound arrogant, my friend Melissa would say, don't be humble.
Yeah.
But I think one of the biggest things that I've heard from community members is that they feel inspired to see a single mom like myself. I have 4 kids and my 5th baby's on the way. But I am unmarried. I'm in a partnership, but I'm unmarried. So I deal with a lot of the same challenges of people in our community. Being a woman who put herself through college while raising children, who knows what it's like to feed her children on food stamps, all of that kind of stuff. And then to take such a gigantic risk and say, I'm not just going to look for a great corporate job and move out of the community, but I'm going to make a conscious decision to stay and make things better. I've had women and young women in this community tell me that that's been really inspirational for them. So I think that's one of the big impacts that I've had. I feel like positivity and courageousness are contagious. So when I was breaking into lots and cleaning up those lots, community members would come over and be like, can I help you?
Right,
because they have been waiting for someone to do that. And so they felt a certain level of I guess, energy transference, that they felt like, okay, I'm not alone in knowing that these things need to change. And now that we've actually started our mobile market last Tuesday and have people actually get really excited and say like, oh my God, this looks better than anything that we've seen in our community, to get excited and ask about what farms the food has actually come from because they want to know. To ask about how they can get a job on the mobile market. I think those are things that we're making the impact now, but you know, have me back on the show in a year and a half and I'll give you some solid numbers.
Most definitely.
I think that we're just starting to make some really positive impacts, and I'm really proud to be leading that.
Most definitely. Now, where are you located so we can come down and get some black eyed peas and neck bones and collard greens and all that stuff?
So if people look us up online, they will find out the locations of the market. Right now, we're every Tuesday, and primarily we're a buying club. So for $30 a week, and we take food stamps, cash, debit, all that good stuff, you get about 8 produce items, bread, alternating weeks of dairy, milk, eggs, cheese, rice, and beans. That's for $30 a week. Cannot beat that anywhere.
No, you can't beat that.
And then we do outreach in the community where we go around to different communities in Mott Haven, Longwood / Hunts Point, and those 3 communities, and we sell produce right there on the street out of our bus. So if they check us out online, www.theblackproject.org, or look us up on Facebook, then they can find us. Also, really quick, I want to plug that we are doing a 1K by Monday, which is today, challenge. So we're asking folks to help us raise $1,000 by today, and we're about $300 shy, so that we can keep the bus running for the winter time. I just found out that diesel engines do not like the cold. So we've got to do things like buy oil pan heaters, get a new heavy-duty battery, and make sure that we can keep the bus heated so that we can keep it out on the road, servicing people at the South Bronx. So if they go to the website and check that out, $5, $10, $100 will definitely help out.
Healthy eating, healthy living. Got that school bus running around, teaching everybody, letting everybody know.
School bus.
The back to school bus. There you go. Where are you going to be again? Well, give us one location where we can find you, or some information where we can get more on you.
Definitely. Tuesdays from 4 to 7, we're parked outside of the Point. That's located at 940 Garrison Avenue, right off the corner of Monida. You can check us out there. Tuesdays between 12:30 to 2:30, we're in Mott Haven. So look for us around 138th Street and 3rd Avenue. And from about 2:30 to about 3:30, we are located in sort of the Southern Boulevard bid district, right on Southern Boulevard, anywhere between 163rd Street and Westchester Avenue. You will see a big, brightly colored blue bus. You cannot miss us.
Thank you so much, and good luck with everything that you're doing, and the baby, too. Congratulations to you. All right. Tanya Fields, everybody, the Executive Director, the BLK Project, right here. Skyping it well. All right, we're going to take a quick break right here, but when we return, we'll keep you fit with an ab expert. Yeah, we're going to break it down. Coming up next, right here. Channel 67's open.
Madeline Rodriguez, and I'm in the Bronx at Beso Lounge. We're here celebrating 40 years of hip-hop in the birthplace of hip-hop with hip-hop legends.
This is the 40-year history, or the anniversary history, rather, of hip-hop music. These gentlemen here are the pioneers of this musical genre, which has circumvented and took over the world.
Nobody thought that hip-hop would grow to the proportions that it has. I mean, this is phenomenal. None of us had any idea we'd get this big, but those of us who always kept a passion for it, like me, you know, I live this culture.
These guys are already legends already. You know, you understand? The hip-hop, I grew up with their music. So we're going to keep it pretty simple and clean, and we're going to turn out a great shoot today. I am happy to be a part of this.
Me doing this was like, you know, right on time. And to be with my other brothers, Grandmaster Cass, Melly Mel, my father, Africa Bambaataa, and myself, I'm so very happy to be a part of this.
We coming together to bring about a good vibration for the people, by the people.
When we first started doing hip hop, and it was highly competitive. like, you know, all of us, between me, Kaz, and Bam, you know, Theodore, and he was down with the Fantastic. But as time
made us, you know, understand what was really going on. It kind of bonded us together because we had that sameness.
The forces that got hip-hop started are here together. And this is big. This is epic. These are American heroes, these pioneers, these hip-hop icons, but they're also our neighbors, they're our friends, they're part of our community, the fabric of our community in the Bronx, part of the resurgence of the Bronx, symbols of urban renewal, and the message is positive.
Windows of Hip Hop is laying out a platform for the pioneers to get noticed for the work that they have done and the steps they have made throughout the history of hip-hop.
Well, when we first heard about this, there was no question we were going to get involved. We see Metro Optics, which is a 35-year-old eye care and eyewear company in the Bronx, as a Bronx institution, and hip-hop is, without a doubt, a Bronx institution.
Hip-hop! I'm Madeline Rodriguez reporting for BronxNet Television.
And this is the General Grandmaster Melly Mel, and I approve that message. Rock.
And welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee. Our next guest is a renowned bodybuilder, trainer, and inventor. He's here today to help us get fit. Yep, get into shape. We're going to tear you down, but in a good way. You're going to love it. We welcome Gino Sylvan. Give him a big round of applause, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All righty. I like your shoes.
Thank you.
I like the colors and all that stuff.
I designed that. It's called a G-Spat.
The G-Spat. Yeah. What does it do?
Well, it protects you from the snow. So it actually covers your shoe. So
Oh,
there's no shoe.
You put on
there's
this
no
shoe?
Yes. You put it over your shoe to protect you from getting dirt or snow inside the shoe.
Inside the shoe. Oh, the G-Spat. You got to pick that up. Where can we get that?
All at my place. Genetics by Gino.
Genetics by Gino. Okay.
.com.
All right. What are you going to do? You going to work out for us today, or you going to?
We'll do a little demonstration upon what I created. This little apparatus. Most people, whenever you work out, all these big apparatus that comes out, you have to put it in the closet, underneath the bed. My apparatus is so portable. It's affordable and portable. It fits in your pocket.
Oh, look at that. So you can take it right out of your pocket and do
And you
something
can travel
in your
with it.
right in your seat.
Yes. You can travel
right.
with it as well.
Oh, you got to show us how that works.
Nice and simple.
Yeah. Whip it right out.
That's it.
And get busy.
Takes 3 seconds to put
You
it
can
together.
watch the Super Bowl with this. Commercials come on. You're still watching the commercials, but you're taking care of business.
That's it.
I used to drop down and do some sit-ups and push-ups. The commercials, that was my timing right there. When the movie came back on,
This little apparatus. All you need is a door. You attach this. Every part of the door becomes into different exercises. 12 different exercises. Originally, I designed it. That's why it's called the Abster, because it was meant to work your lower abs.
So this part right here goes.
This goes to the door. So in other words, you put this in between the gap of the door.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then all you do, you're able to do.
I'm not going to let it go.
That's it. You could do bicep with it. You can do forearms with it. 12 different exercises. Put it between your ankles, and you bring your knees into you. You know.
And how long does this band last?
Well, in the box you have
different
beginners,
tensions?
intermediate, and advanced. So it has all three. And if you want more resistance, you can put all three together.
All together?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you want to start off with one, though?
Yes, if you're a beginner. A guy like you probably can start with the black. So it starts off with yellow, green, and red. It's like the street lights.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you can take that to the next level. Black or blue. Take it easy with the black and blue now.
There you go. That's the toughest one, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. And so this will give you a good workout. It's simple.
Nice and simple.
Yeah. You don't have to store a whole lot.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't become a clothing rack, right?
Yeah, right. Oh, this is great. So what made you come up with a design like this?
Well, when I used to compete, the well-known thing was a six-pack abs. So I wanted to be different. And the only way for you to work your lower abs is by suspending yourself as though you're doing chin-ups and bring your knees into you. I mean, it was difficult for me. I was able to do like 10, 15, that was it. Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why I designed this. You put it in between your ankles and you bring your knee. Every morning I'm doing about 2,500 now, you know, and it keeps that low ab. I'm 52 right now.
Ooh, all right. Give him a big round of applause, everybody.
Thank you.
Keeping it real, keeping it in shape.
We must love ourselves naked.
Yeah, let me hold up this shirt here. Now, you came up with this because we must love ourselves naked.
One of the reasons because obesity, believe it or not, there's more people obese versus hunger. Okay, my main concern is to decrease obesity by if every single person will participate with me and decrease what the food intake, okay, and remainder of that food can feed the hunger. Okay, so we can kill two birds with one stone.
There you go. Now, you said you used to compete.
Yes, as a bodybuilder, yes.
Yeah. What was it, the Olympics or what?
Oh, no, bodybuilding,
yeah.
Physique.
Beautiful. And you came up with Genetics by Gino.
That's the name of my personal training facility. I've been a personal trainer now for 32 years.
Yeah.
My first gym back was 1983.
So you're not new to this.
No.
You see a lot of that stuff on TV and you say, hey, I've done that and I'm still doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the other reason why I created this exercise apparatus, because all my clients would go on vacation and find excuses. Well, I couldn't find a gym. So now what I did, I call it Gino in the box. So when you travel, you have me with you at all times.
There you go. And that's a good idea, too. That's a good idea. It's small, it's simple. You can take it and look, he's going through the motions right now. I know you want one of these, right? How can people get a hold of that?
Yes, well, either it's like Genetics by Gino or The Appster, TheAbster.com. You can purchase The Appster. Also, I created this breakfast cookies. Most of us...
I've been munching on it.
Thank you.
I've been doing it for
most of us find
most
excuses.
of the morning right here.
We find excuses not to eat breakfast or just can't find the time. So this gluten-free kosher cookie, breakfast replacement cookie, would last 2 hours. The next meal can actually give you the energy and strength to carry on for the rest of the day. I've had a few of my clients that have eaten it throughout the day, and they were happy with it.
Like an energy bar. Has a lot of good stuff in it.
Correct. The ingredients is oatmeal, peanut butter, raisins, and white chocolate.
Good. But you can't eat this before you work out. You have to eat it a couple of hours before you work out. Right?
Yes, you can. It's so light that you're able to eat it at any time.
Speaking of the Appster once again.
Yes.
How often should you do that?
Well, I would recommend about 3 sets, 20, 25 reps as a beginner. And 3 sets, 25 reps should get you pretty much what you want every single day. If you have 3 minutes per day, that would make yourself love yourself naked. But remember, you must have patience or else you'll be a patient.
Whoa, there you go. You know what, Gene, we're going to take a quick break right here. We'll come back and you'll tell us more about give us some healthy tips on healthy eating, healthy living. And you're going to do a demonstration?
Oh, I'll have 2 demonstrations for you.
All right, there you go. All right, that's all coming up next right here with Gino Sylvan. Stay tuned.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. That ember can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where that ember will land. Only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how you can help protect your community from wildfires.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
Board here though.
single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. You can't control where the ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm here with Gino Sylvan, the fitness expert. He has a card out. Check this card out. The Appster. He has this out. Everything you need to know about a personal trainer. And he has a new Appster. You know, you got to check that. It's sold on TV also. We have it right here, and we're going to give a demonstration, right? But before you get into that demonstration, can you tell us a little bit about your nutrition handbook?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what's good about the book, it pretty much simplify exactly proper way of eating. Gives you a list of food, what's good and what's bad, so that way you can create your own way of eating in a healthier way. So there's 3 types of diets for 3 different types of bodies. Ecto, endo, and meso, meaning they're skinny, overweight, or muscular. So pretty much every diet that you need to help you if you want to lose weight or decrease body fat, or if you want to maintain your weight and just get toned, or if you want to gain weight for a slim kid that wants to put some muscle weight on. So there's a diet in there for them as well.
All right, and so how do we get this 6-pack right here? We got a demonstration going on.
I'm well known for his 8-pack, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Throw a couple more in there now.
We got to be different, okay? What's good about the apparatus, see, as you can see, they're demonstrating how to do triceps. That's the push down, okay? Nice and simple. All you need is a door. Right now, demonstrating couples can train together. If they're at the beach, they could train like this.
Yeah.
But usually by yourself, you take any type of door, the different part of the door, in between the gap, close the door, make sure for security, and you can apply any type of exercise.
There you go.
Okay, now she's doing the reverse. If you want nice firm arms, that's a great little portable thing. Take it on the plane with you, at work, at the office. You know, for women that just gave birth, just don't have the time to travel, they need to stay home with the baby, and now she's doing biceps.
There you go.
You can bring the arms down more. No.
So this is a great workout for just anybody.
Exactly.
And you can pick this up where?
At theafter.com or Genetics by Gino.
And they can find you where? At the same place?
Yes, geneticsbygino.com or at my location, 7015 Austin Street, Falls Hills, New York.
Oh, okay. Yes. You're right off of Queens Boulevard. I'm still a personal trainer. I still have my location. It's strictly private training. All right. Now, slowly, where can we reach you? Because a lot of people, I need somebody to work with me. I need somebody to hold my hand and walk me through this.
That's what I would do for you. Proper way of eating, all that's included. There's no membership. It's strictly personal training. That's it. And that's located at 7015 Austin Street, Falls Hills, New York.
All right. They're working out. Thank you so much, Gino Sylvan. Give him a big round of applause, everybody. Fitness expert. Got it going on. Hey, this is about all the time we have for today's show. We got to wrap this up, but I'd like to thank you and all of our guests for tuning in and checking it all out, and you, our viewer, for tuning in and checking it out also. If you missed any part of today's show, you can tune in to the Cablecast at 5 and 10 p.m., or you can watch anytime on the web at bronxnet.org, or you can catch an all-new episode Wednesday at 10 a.m. with our host, Darren Jaime. For all of us here at BronxNet, have a great and enjoyable day. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. I'll catch you on tonight right after the Quiet Storm on 107.5 WBLS. Love you all. Peace.
We be at the gym, getting it in. Gotta get trim, yeah, the only way to win. It's Genetics by Gino. Feel that pain, see that gain. Hard is how we train. It's Genetics by Gino. Drop that fat, no more snacks, and get a 6-pack. It's Genetics by Gino. Had a few sets, now you